Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. It's your boy Snub Nose Gambino, the voice box of the people. You know, Streets Want to Know Volume 7. And pretty much, I want to do this video on NBA news and what have you. The whole dilemma that's going on in Boston as far as Udoka, the Boston Celtics head coach, and the Snow Bunny he was involved with. And pretty much add my insight and my enlightenment on that situation. Um, I just want to say though, before I elaborate, you got first off, it's a lot going on in the sports world, and they're not talking about that, but they want to talk about what's going on in Boston, and I have a problem with that. I mean, first and foremost, you got the Brett Favre scandal in Mississippi, where he's allegedly was running I believe a food stamp scam and basically taking from the poor in Mississippi. But people don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? And then you got the racist motherfucker, Robert Sarver, Phoenix Suns owner, who just stepped down, which he should be. You know what I mean? They should have came down harder on him, if you ask me. And it's due. You know what I mean? All that had to manifest, and I'm glad it did. And but that's what the sports world should be talking about. Pardon me. That's what the sports world should be elaborating on instead of this Udoka situation. Cause truth be told, it goes on a lot more than what we see and hear about. You know what I mean? And I know that. You know what I mean? And then another thing on top of that, it was a consensual relationship. So it's not like dude violated and was doing the most and doing extra. It was a consensual relationship. If you Google or know what consensual means, it means it wasn't by force, you know what I mean? It was a casual relationship. You know what I mean? Did he violate due to the fact that he's married? Yeah. It's out of order. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to talk about his morals and all that, you know what I mean? Because ain't no man perfect on the planet. You know what I mean? And I just want to drop the proverbs on how the media would do anything to drag the black man through the mud, but not the white man. That's what this video is about. Fuck him stepping out on their lawn, you know what I mean? That's an in-house situation. It should have been dealt with in-house and not publicized like that, if you ask me. And then you suspend the man for a year, which makes no sense to me because he's already humiliated and being massacred through the media. You might as well fire him. And I agree with Stephen A on that. You should have went on and fired him. What good is a suspension? And then when he bum back, to have people looking him sideways. But to me, it's more than that. You know what I mean? It's a bigger picture. And I dropped a video on sports being rigged. This is another goddamn smoke screen by the NBA. Alright, first and foremost, Cleveland just pulled off the trade for Donovan Mitchell. You know what I mean? That changes the landscape in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? The Eastern Conference is better than the Western Conference now. And pretty much the Eastern Conference has gained traction within the last 3 years, if you ask me. The balancing scales, there's parity in the league now. It never has been like this in a long time. Now it's parity. All right, the Pistons traded for Bogdanovich, I think yesterday or the day before. So the Pistons on the low got a mob. They're going to be better than advertised, and they might be battling for a play-in spot. So that's like 10 teams that have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. You know what I mean? That's brazy. They ain't never been like that in the Eastern Conference. Only like 4 or 5 legitimate teams. And like 2, 3 teams that was going to make the playoffs but was going to be put out in the first round. So you got all of that to take in. Somebody got to, 2 or 3 teams got to take a step back this year. Why not the team that just won the Eastern Conference? Boston. Now with all this turmoil, you think Boston gonna make a run? No, they're gonna take a step back due to this conflict and turmoil. Watch and see. And y'all gonna be like, Snub knows you right. Yeah, I know I'm right. I go off intuition and I go off the vibes. You know what I mean? That shit don't lie. Boston gonna take a step back. Indiana, Garbino. The Bulls gonna take a step back. Lonzo Ball got another mysterious knee injury and another knee surgery that he gotta do. All that's gonna cause the Bulls to take a step back this year. Watch what I tell you. Instead of letting the NBA let the teams be great and the best teams win, they want to put the bullshit in the game. That's why I stopped watching NBA a long time ago due to the fuckery. They can't let teams just go out there and play and be great. They want to put some foolishness and frivolous shit in the game, and it's out of order, and it needs to stop. Straight up. You heard it here first. Von Don, a.k.a. Snub-Nosed Gambino, the voice box of the people, has spoken. This shit out of order. So those 3 teams right there are locked. They're not to make the playoffs. Indiana, Chicago, Boston gonna take a step back. They might even be battling for a play-in spot. Watch what I tell you. But the top teams to me will be Philly, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Philly, Cleveland, Milwaukee. They're the top 4 teams. I mean, Orlando, Garbino too. I don't think they're gonna do much this year. So those 4 teams are locked to miss the playoffs. So that leaves like 10 to 12 more teams. So Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Philly, and Cleveland. Detroit, that's 5. That's 5. Who else? Pardon me, I'm thinking. More or less. Milwaukee, Philly, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Detroit, Atlanta, New York. Okay, there you go. My fault. My New York Knicks, they should be in the conversation playoffs. Atlanta should have a strong bounce back year. So Atlanta, New York, that's like 7 teams right there. And then the three play-in spots, which Boston and like Toronto as well. Toronto too. So you got Toronto Raptors in that conversation, all battling for the play-in spots. But all this controversy around Boston, all that means is Brooklyn gonna win the division. It's gonna be between Brooklyn and Philly for the division, the Atlantic division, and Boston gonna be in the play-in scramble mode, and it's fucked up. And then, as far as the Central Division go, you got, being that Cleveland, being that my New York Knicks missed out on Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes, Cleveland gonna be battling Milwaukee for the division title. You know what I mean? So you got all of that, and watch it transpire and manifest like I'm saying it. Boston gonna take a step back. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna do a whole nother episode and volume on my NBA predictions and whatnot. But for the most part, the video of the day was basically to elaborate on how they dragging Boston Celtic coach Ime Udoka through the mainstream media, but not other people who's basically like the Brett Favre situation. To me is out of order. That should be talked about more. And the Robert Sarver situation. But as soon as a black man make a mistake, that's hot. That's hot topic. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It's out of order. And we need to do better than that. You know what I mean? I'm very disappointed in Boston how they handled the whole situation. You know what I mean? And I was rocking with them. They got a great team. And yeah, we got to do better. The whole situation is out of order. And I think Malika Andrews is out of order. You know what I mean? You got to hold all parties involved should be held accountable. No picking and choosing. All that feminist shit. No, that shit out of order. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And you heard it here first. You know what I mean? It goes on in different... This type of shit goes on in different sports, different organizations and franchises and all that. And they're making a big deal out of it. That shit, if it's consensual, ain't nothing else to talk about, if you ask me. You know what I mean? But, yeah, like, Stephen A. was right. I agree with him. You know what I mean? Snub Nose Gambino, Streets Wanna Know Volume 7 Special Edition. I also got a Volume 8 bumming later on, Raising Canaan. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to drop this jank because the jank had me kind of frustrated. I was jive heated about this. You know what I mean? The Robert Sarver situation, that needed to happen. You know what I mean? He should have got punished more. If you ask me, come down harder on him, like King James said. But yeah, he need to be out of the door. It ain't no place. It ain't no time or place for none of that. In no sports, in life, period. You know what I mean? That shit out of order. We don't have time for that. We in a whole new time frame. All that shit be outlawed. You know what I mean? Ain't got time for foolishness. You know what I mean? Get with the program. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it should be all about positive vibes. You know what I mean? Equality. Each one teach one. Upliftment and all that. But yeah, I just wanted to shine some light on that whole situation. You know what I mean? I'm not condoning his actions. I'm just saying that the media should portray all news and stop sweeping other shit under the rug and just talk about shit they, you know what I mean? Talk about everything. You want to talk about something, talk about everything. That ain't the only thing that's bumming, that's popping in the news right now, that people trying to hide and not talk about. Talk about that. You know what I mean? And you heard it here first. Snub Nose Gambino, the voice box of the people, signing off. Peace to all man, woman, and child. And don't forget to like and subscribe. More to bump. Peace.